What's going on, guys? It's Luke here with Vital MX. Today we're out at Kaweah Creek Motocross riding this beautiful 2025 GasGas MC 450F Factory Edition. So with this new bike, there has been a lot of changes that we've been anticipating for the frames that's going to make the chassis more comfortable, a couple little things to the swing arm, new fork updates, and then of course with the Factory Edition, you get the split clamps. So that is going to make this bike hopefully feel more supple and smoother. So right away riding it today, that is kind of the first thing that you notice with the bike, is that the overall feel of the bike has a lot more give to it. So I personally spend a lot of time on these Austrian bikes, and I've kind of gone through the transition all the way back from 2016, you know? So I've really felt the fork progress, and I've felt the chassis progress. I think that we've almost, in 23, 24, that Factory Edition as well, it was very harsh and rigid. So with this new change that they've done, adding the little holes above the shock, those shock tower holes, it allows the bike to have more move and feel underneath you. So you're gonna have a little bit more drive coming out of corners. You're not gonna get as much, through the body shock. So any square edge and stuff like that, that's where these updates are really beneficial. The fork is another one that I'm continually impressed with. I've gone back and forth over the years. I've run spring fork, I've run air fork. I've gotten those set up and done different things. And then riding this today, I'm pretty surprised that we're continuing to move in the right direction. So that initial slap down that you do feel on the previous generation bikes, between the frame changes, between the split clamps that we have on this with the Factory Edition, and then of course the new fork updates and settings, it does feel like you get a lot more, a lot less rigidity and a lot less feedback into your body. And that's kind of the biggest thing that I notice when the track starts to go away. If you want to really push this bike hard and you're sending the jump a little into a flat or anything like that, that initial slap down isn't going to be as much shock throughout the arms and into the body, which is very nice. What's really cool with the Factory Editions for this coming year is you do get the connectivity unit. So this gives you the ability to connect with your smartphone to the bike, adjust your mappings, set up a rider profile. You get a 4-month free trial to Lit Pro, so you're able to track your lap times, all the good stuff. So that's something that is pretty fun because you can adjust the reaction of the bike, how hard it hits. You can turn down and up the traction control, and same with the engine braking. So playing around with that, you're able to kind of like fine tune the bike if you don't want to go out and spend the money to buy a Vortex ECU. Now that is something that you are also able to get now for the older generation bikes and for the standard 2025 models that will not come with this on like the Factory Edition does. So that's something to be aware of. For a couple $100, you are able to get this connectivity unit and just plug it into your standard SXF model or MC model. As the motor for this bike is still not changed for this year, it still does some things really well. I like how smooth it is, but yet you're able to spool up the power really quick and have a lot of fun with it. I ride a 250 and 350 a lot. Getting on a 450 today, I think about making a switch because I do really like to be able to have the power there when I need it, but I also really like some of the stuff that comes on this bike. So for example, the Akrapovic slip-on does make a really smooth linear power, whereas the FMF adds a little bit more bottom end, and that's something that with the GasGas Factory Edition versus the Husqvarna, you're able to kind of pick and choose some of the parts you do get on them. So speaking of the Factory Edition parts, what do you get on it? Of course, you have the power parts, wheels, black rim, red hub. Those look great. You have the split clamp. That is something that does actually make a difference that I do really like. The connectivity unit, the factory racing clutch cover, the gripper seat cover, and some other few little bits and pieces that I think make this bike look really, really good, race ready, but also it does add some good performance. And I think that for the difference of the money, I always tend to go toward a Factory Edition because I like to get something that already has all the parts on it, but it is all stuff that is accessible. And so if you only want, one or the other, you could go and buy a standard one, build it yourself. So it does come down to, this bike is about $2,200 more than your standard model. So a lot of people may ask, is that worth the difference? It totally depends on how eager you are to get the new frame, right? Because otherwise the standard MC450 frame won't be out and adjusted until the standard 2025 models are out, so that'll be a couple more months, whereas this model is available on dealer floors right now. So yes, you're paying a little bit more of a premium, but with that, you're also getting a lot more parts. And then again, now on the GasGas, the stock parts aren't as nice as a standard KTM or Husqvarna. So for example, a stock GasGas is gonna have the cast clamps, it's gonna have silver wheels, and be a little bit more of a base model, whereas getting the factory edition GasGas is gonna have all the good pieces on it. But that gap is a little bit closer on the KTM and Husqvarna models, so that's something to be aware of on that price difference, and if you're really eager to try this new frame or not. All right, guys, that wraps up this video today here at Kahia Creek Motocross. If you liked this content, make sure to like and subscribe to stay tuned for more.